electricity, plumbing. He's one
I
of the
know.
high. You missed a lot of. Just think though, if everything stopped, we could still make it. We'd still know what to do.
The best story was she said that they had a furnace in the basement that didn't work.
And they didn't fix it. The men didn't fix it.
So
Just
she
like-
grew up without a furnace.
And well, first we had wood stoves, and my grandpa Berg and them did too. They had potbelly stoves. You know, nobody ever got over. We warned though. I'll say that for our
They-
dads.
yeah, they were fun.
Stay away from the lamps. No, and they wouldn't let us work in the field, run the tractor, or anything. They were really worried about that. They were look both ways when you cross this road.
I mean, that's every
Because we had
parent's.
to cross to, you know, for the well, and the animals were all across the road, the cows.
So
Who's-
from a very
now,
young
if
age,
said
you
to-
got that.
I was saying, if you said to kids, go get the cows, they wouldn't know what you're talking about, because in the daytime, they went out in the field, kind of, you know, where there's grass. Then you had to go fetch them for milking, drive them back to the thing. You took turns of that. The kids here would never know. One time I said, you be good now, or you'll get a lump of coal. And they, Pete said, what's coal? He was a little boy. Nobody even knew, you know.
Yeah.
They just
Oh.
didn't know at all. It was interesting. I wouldn't have missed it. Of course, the winter was always icky. I think that's why I hate it cold. If you were well behaved in school, you sat toward the back of the room, and they had the naughtier kids, some of the wild boys up toward the front. Then when we got an oil burner in school, that was really nice. We did get one finally, you know. That was
It's hard to
real
imagine.
high cotton. Yeah.
Well, Betty was telling me that she almost burned down her schoolhouse once
Oh, yeah.
when she was a teacher.
She had to go start the stove before the kids came. That was part of their job.
But she didn't really know how to do it.
Oh, she probably did. See, Mom or Dad them started the stoves, but we were the ones who fetched the wood, the coal, the cobs, you know, whatever, you know, that we needed. But I remember baked potatoes out of those old cook stoves. They were so crusty and good. I suppose
Yeah.
they left them in all afternoon. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
they were really
Just
good.
like camping.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was interesting, all right. Can't remember any other high spots. Well, I told you about the sledding. There were a lot of fun things to do though where we used our imagination and we didn't, had
Right.
plays too.
Yeah.
We would have plays.
I was asking Levon and Betty, and they were saying that they thought the house burned down in the late 50s.
I
But
was
you
in
said
college.
51.
So I was in college in September of 51 to May of, it burned down that fall, I think it was 51.
Fall of 51. Because the
The
video
spring
of
of 51
me,
I
the
graduated.
video of me and Brenda on the farm, we were both, that was, you know, Brenda was probably 6 weeks old and I
Yeah.
was a little
Yeah,
bit
I wasn't
older.
home for
So that was the summer of 51.
So that
So it
fall.
must have burned down that
It burned
fall.
in the fall when I was gone. I didn't hear from Mom. I'd get a quick letter from her. She wasn't much to write. 5 weeks, all she wrote that the house had burned down. I couldn't believe it. And then where did they go first? That part I don't remember. They lived in a little house in Rake, and then they had a house pulled in, a nicer house. And so-
to the
into Rake, into
Oh,
a
into Rake,
different
okay.
lot. And they ended up pulling that house away, and the other one got knocked down. They were two old houses, but they were modern and everything, you know. The one was
but they
quite-
still farmed.
Dad did for a while, and
while.
then they sold the land,
Yeah.
which was such a mistake. That was
Then they moved to Wells.
Well, then he had
No,
a
not
he had
right
a
away,
he had
no.
a stroke about
No,
that
he
time.
they lived by Rake, and I can't remember. He had a stroke when Lisa was 2 years old, and now Lisa's going to be what 50.
50s.
And I went along to the hospital with them and stuff, and Grandma Joy watched Lisa then. So that was, I don't know the actual date, but he came back and,
Mhm.
you know, he could take care of himself.
Yeah.
Kinda had tunnel vision, but he could feed it, you know, he was doing okay. He had 12 years after and that was a massive stroke. He could hardly walk or talk. When we took him to Iowa City, we were in a motel, and I called the hospital and, I think we got him in before the night, because I called the hospital and said, you have to take him in. He's had a stroke. First they acted like they didn't have room, you know. And then magically, if you get real, and I never thought I was that aggressive, they did take him in. And then he
But
came back from
of course,
it.
that time, there really wasn't any, I mean, if someone had a stroke,
Didn't do a lot
it was,
for
No.
him.
that was,
Like
you
he
know,
was having
you get
this-
better or not on your own. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no treatment, you know,
Yeah.
for them, other than maybe rehab.
Yeah,
They
he
didn't even
did
do that
stay in
much at
Iowa
that
City
point.
that long, I don't think. But like he was dizzy before then, he was laying around on the yard once, he said he had dizzy spells, he went to Doc Hanson, he gave him all kinds of pills and stuff. He didn't know. If it had been now, they would have stopped that massive stroke.
Yeah.
He
Oh, yeah.
couldn't talk and he couldn't walk, we had to walk with him. And then we did get him into the hospital that night, I think. He stayed, we took turns kind of going back and forth, and Ma and I stayed up there. In fact, we had an attic room where the house was just full. This was in Iowa City,
Mhm.
and then we'd go every day. Until
So he would have been fairly young. 'Cause-
58,
Yeah,
I
okay.
think he was 58.
Yeah.
But he smoked, but he
it's
didn't
those-
smoke
it's
like,
those genes,
he had high cholesterol.
those
just-
bad genes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we all inherited it. Even Tricia has fairly high cholesterol, but if you do too. But as long as their good cholesterol's real high, you're not taking medicine yet, are you? No. If I just cut down on mine once, mine will shoot right up. Once it just let me try it without some, oh, it shot up so fast. I have to have those pills, and they're so expensive.
Well, there are some familial hypercholesterolemia syndromes, and I know that Jim had Levon talk with somebody at Mayo
Yeah.
at one point, and I guess there is a familial.
They should study our whole family.
Well, yeah, but
He
that's,
told Levon never to take more than 5 milligrams of Crestor, and that would never work for me.
Jim
Uh,
told her, or
Or the
somebody in
Mayo.
Mayo.
The
Somebody
Mayo.
in Mayo, I think.
I don't know.
So does it make a difference? That's the question, is taking Crestor or whatever. Even though it lowers that number, does it actually make a difference? That's
No, my body just makes more, and if I stop it, it'll just go build right up again. I know it will. That one doctor told us at Norma's funeral too. They all said, remember him? Oh,
No, I don't.
you wouldn't remember that, or somebody said, we hope you're on cholesterol medicine. I guess they knew it was inheritable.
No, no.
I didn't know it was, so it is. And Jim, doesn't Steve have high too?
Both. I think both Jim and Steve do.
But you missed it, huh? You got the other genes.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't look into it.
You don't do that. I have Norma's letter where she said I don't even have mine checked. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm the wrong person to talk to about
Yeah.
medical issues because
Yeah,
I don't,
'cause you
I
don't- you don't believe in a lot of
any of
pills.
it.
You got a whole
So-
different mindset.
So
But you eat real carefully, don't
no, I enjoy my life.
right.
You know.
Right.
you? Eat red meat.
I would much rather keel over at
Yeah.
70,
Enjoying life.
enjoying life,
Yeah.
and go quick as opposed to living to be
Yeah,
95 and spending
No.
20 years in a
Nursing
assisted
home or
living care
Right.
No,
facility.
no, I wouldn't do it. The way
So-
Larry went was, I thought, and when I went back to work too after he died, they said, that's just the way I wanna go, my own bed, just, cause he'd have probably been on total oxygen and, I don't know.
He
But
couldn't have taken that.
Yeah.
That was not our
that was
dad.
not him,
No.
he was looking for work as soon as we moved to Minnesota Lake, and he'd already been diagnosed with early failure, and, oh well, that's just the way it goes, but.
You know,
But there is
when
answers-
I was working, it was wonderful to see people that were active and healthy and, doing what they wanted to do and enjoying
Yeah.
life when they were in their 80s and 90s. But I didn't see a whole lot of them,
Really?
There's just...
Well, some
it's-
of them
they're-
seem to, like in the nursing home, though, some of them even seem to enjoy the nursing home.
Well,
They're
yeah.
real outgoing and they
Yeah.
enjoy these games and these outings, and they figure they're bonus years because he already had lived a full life,
Yeah.
and then they come there and, so
Yeah.
why be complaining and whining, but no, I would never be the kind that would, I told Joe, I wouldn't eat brown rice for all the tea in China. I like
Me
white
neither.
rice. Joe he got that kick, but now he's kind of getting away from it again. He looks up stuff on his cotton picking computer, and this and that. And, I think he's way too thin right now. And I think you need red meat. It seems like Shirley's kids were
I
always
sure do.
they're
I
always
do.
vegetarians, and they were sickly. They got sick quick, all of them. And Susan has that disease. She's real bad bones. And Christy has the real bone thing where she really is. She couldn't have children or anything. She has been real sick. She's doing good now, but she has that illness. And what's another? And Betty always says they should have been vegetarians. They need red meat too, I think, 3 times a week at least.
Well,
Who knows?
Everybody does their own thing.
Yeah, they can make up their own mind. So, Gabby decided that she had to go home. She had a long day. She gets up at 6:30 and she brings her to school up here. So
And she's 4.
I wish you could have met her. She's
She's
such
full
a,
of the business.
Yeah.
She's quite the girl.
I can't believe they have 5. Well, of course, all of you are different too. But every one of them, the girls, they all have different personalities. Just so
Mhm.
different. Different
It's
looks.
fun to see.
Yeah, it is.
It is really fun to
And then
see.
her daughter too is little. She was when she was 2. I'll never forget that. She was real little, sitting in the back seat, and we were talking about the situation, the war, And she said from the back seat, "Did they get Bin Laden?" And
She was like 2.
we wondered how
obviously
much
it was a
she
big
had
talk.
listened to this stuff. She was really listening to things.
Oh, she's funny.
I got such a kick out of that. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, he made some nice pictures here. I gotta show you. Here. He copied the old books and the wedding book.
Awesome.
He has a printer. You must have very sophisticated equipment, don't you?
Ooh, that
Really?
one looks good.
well, I have nice
Yeah.
stuff.
And it's your hobby now,
Yeah,
I
that's
suppose.
what I
And
do.
you can show her those too. That was isn't
I
that
love this-
nice?
I
That
love this
was.
picture.
Which one's Grandpa Alfred?
Now can you see his eyes? And that was Joel, the baby boy. And look at Cora. Aunt Cora was so cute.
Oh, she was adorable.
They finally admitted later on, Isaac finally told Annie when he was real old that Cora had to come home from school because she had a nervous breakdown.
Oh. And
But she
we
was
only
just
knew
fine.
Cora.
Well,
Yeah.
she was
That
fine
way.
when she got away from Aunt Ida, who was always fussing at her. She lived with her. And then she had her own house, and she was so much different.
Who's this one?
That's Aunt Emma. That was Edna Guard's
I
mom.
don't think I remember that one.
Okay, now
I remember Cora, Alfred, and who's this one?
Now, Ida was a school teacher. She
Where's
taught.
Isaac?
She taught Grandma Joy, my mother-in-law, in country school. Aunt Ida. We found that out after, and that was Mary who died young. She died of. Well,
She
they
was
called
in-
it dropsy in the old days, and she had heavy legs, and she was heavy, and I bet she had heart failure all the time. Died in her sleep. Edna and them told me how old she was. Now we're mad that we didn't ask more and write
Right.
things down because it was such a big family. Nels was the one who married the Canadian girl. and-
Yeah, I read those letters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm giving them to John now
Okay.
to copy.
Perfect.
Some
Yeah.
of them I've already made copies
Yeah.
of that Levon had, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Oh,
Look
they
at
just,
them.
when I read them, I was just overwhelmed. Even Scott, your husband, read them and he was just amazed, talking
Yeah.
about she
Anyway,
got the 40 done.
I love that.
Oh, that is cute,
Is
Mother.
that great?
That is
I don't
super
take
fun.
very good pictures, but I like that one. I suppose I was 16, carefree,
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Super
put that
fun.
one in a frame. Usually I take awful pictures.
I love that one.
But look at how these women always pull their hair back so stern. They were churning butter, washing clothes, sewing clothes.
I have to find the original of that one of the Bergs, of Jerry and Anna and their parents. The one that you have in your book,
Yeah.
that's a copy. That's not a good
Oh.
copy.
Oh, it is a copy.
Yeah.
Now Raymond borrowed it. Maybe
somebody has the original of that.
Does Raymond maybe? have it?
Raymond borrowed it from me to copy. Maybe he gave me the copy back. I thought I had the original.
I
Check
don't,
with them.
I don't think it's it just doesn't look
Oh yeah.
like an original.
But that's a nice picture of that family.
right.
So if you
So
can
if
get
I
the
can,
original.
then I can do this with it.
Oh, nice.
See.
Yeah. This one is really nice. Yeah. They really turned out clear.
Beautiful.
It was a typical 40s. We said, that But we wore jeans then too, I guess.
Well, it rolled up, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Pedal pusher type.
Now they're going back to roll,
And got
having
the,
them cuffed.
got the
again.
loafers without the socks.
Got
you
the
know.
loafers and we didn't wear anklets. Probably only had one
Super
pair.
cute.
We often wash things at night, you know, hand wash.
That's what the movie stars look like.
Right.
You know, when,
Right.
when they went into town to watch the matinee. Get to see what the rest of the world looked
Oh,
like.
I never told you about free show. We had free show on Saturday night in Frost. All day we prayed it wouldn't rain, because if it rained, it was canceled. And then everyone take your blanket along, and usually, and this has really happened, we'd get a nickel and we'd buy a popsicle and split it. And so did most of the kids around us. You know, nobody seemed to be loaded. I suppose there were some people, but we lived in the country. I suppose the country kids, you know, you didn't compare with.
Yeah.
But that was such a big deal, and it'd be just full too. Can you imagine kids now going to take a blanket and going to a free show, sitting on the grass, running around, scuffling, you know, all kids would at that age. But if it rained, it was canceled, and that was horrible. Those were really high spots.
It's like
That
the,
and Christmas.
The drive-ins for us were the same way.
Oh, sure, that's
You know,
right too.
same
Drive-ins
thing. Parents get to stay in the car and the kids have to
and eat.
go sit
Yeah, you
outside.
could bring the kids. We took them a few times before you were even born, and they had their pajamas on then,
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
you could go right home back to bed. You know, just no, that part.
And then when you
was-
were in high school, you did it, but you threw a few of your friends in the trunk.
Yeah, so it was cheaper
Everyone
then.
tried to be cheap.
$5 carload, you know.
I didn't know they did that in Washington, though.
Oh.
Oh, they probably did too.
Oh, yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. That was nuts. And Christmases were so different. As far one thing I really remember that cousin Raymond came along with Grandma Berg and Mardell. Usually a few of them came, not all of them. And he had the accordion, and he always played for us to sing with that squeeze box.
Mhm.
Oh, he died not too long. He was in the second. Then he went to the war. For 5 years he was gone. We prayed for him every night. He came back okay. But it was so funny when he was gone, because he always played the accordion at Christmas, you know, and that. But that didn't last forever, you know. Isaacs left. They moved first, and then we had the whole house, and then the house burned down.
Well, I didn't know
Isaacs
that.
moved out. Yeah, they went up north. Ike always wanted to live up north, so he bought an old tumble down place. And they couldn't make it. They ended up coming back working for farmers and stuff around Minneapolis.
Well, I never knew that.
But
I
he
thought
did
they were
live
still
up
living.
by Motley, and Betty and Chris lived up by Staples for a
Uh-huh,
while.
Okay.
They picked rocks out of the field. Betty and
lot of
Chris
rocks.
had a really nice place up there. They couldn't make a go of it farming. It was more for stock,
Mhm.
dairy cattle and
Right.
stuff, but they didn't know that. So it didn't last for Isaacs either. Annie told me once they just let the house go back and left. And then they worked they were hired people then. By Elk River, they worked for those people the longest, and then they retired and moved back to Wells, you know, the rest of the family. But they were gone quite a while. Patty and Susan and Diane graduated from Northern. No, they came back to Wells, and Susan and Diane graduated from Wells School. They just came back in time to graduate there, but cousin Patty graduated from up north, Elk River. So they were there a little while. Everyone went up to see them. It was so fun.
Mhm.
There was it was the Grange farm. It was quite an interesting farm. Shirley was another one that didn't like to talk about. She just thought that was just too much to be that, you know, live like that. And when Annie moved in that house, a real nice house, she wanted a cook stove. So they put one in for her. And Shirley, that embarrassed her. Now to me, I would have thought that was okay, but that meant that was important to her.
She wanted to get rid of that electric stove and get an old cook
Well,
stove.
whatever stove they had, she wanted the cook stove.
Yeah.
And she had one. I don't know if they had another one there. That I don't remember. But I remember going there with Lisa, Pete, and Joel and visiting them out on that place.
So about when do you think they left the farm?
Before graduation, because LaDonna stayed with us and worked for some people, because she graduated with me, you know. So it must have been when I was a junior in high school, about 49, 50.
Okay.
He sold his share to, I don't know how much it was. I don't know the acreage, not in a lot. He sold it to Brockfold or somebody and left, took the money and bought a place up north. At least he got to do what he always wanted to do, but it was so peaceful up there.
So he sold his share of the farm to
Yeah.
somebody else,
Yeah.
not to.
Hey, sister.
You did make it.
Your
This
dad.
is Lisa, the oldest one. This is
Hi.
I probably can't even remember the last time I saw you, John.
Yeah, Mom's
Don't
birthday.
ask me.
Mom's birthday. At the birthday
Oh,
party.
okay.
Lisa,
All right.
I bet you weren't there.
I don't know. I was there.
You were there, and you had pictures with your kids, with Bob holding her little boy. And that was such a nice gathering that day.
It
I
was.
bet you were gone, Lisa.
I was probably working.
Yes.
I worked a lot back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now she's retired.
Now I'm retired. How nice.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, yeah, that was nice. It was nice for us.
Yeah,
For
because
some reason, because I think that was
first time you guys had been together for years.
right.
You had
And
been
I
in
had just,
school.
we had just moved back down here,
You had been in school.
like that year.
You were in doctor school about
Doctor school.
15 years.
About
Medical
that,
school.
something like
Do
that.
you think
yeah.
it was that
Where
long?
did you have to do all of your, hey, I got one question for you about medical.
No,
Just one.
don't ask. Don't ask.
That's the only one she'll do, though, because I
I'll
don't.
just ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Let's
Do
do
you
you take a statin?
No.
We were already talking about that.
Oh, you
I'm like,
dang,
I don't
missed
do it either.
What did you say?
I said, do you take a statin? I boycotted
Oh no,
it.
he's negative that way. He
No,
doesn't.
he doesn't check.
Well, that's what you mean by negative.
Yeah.
I'm
He
against.
doesn't even-
I'm anti-medicine.
He doesn't give a tinker's
See,
damn.
that's
Tinker's
exactly
damn.
me.
But I'm
neither.
not. Don't take. I am not speaking for the rest of the
I know,
population.
I know.
it.
But
Wait,
I,
that
I just chose not.
not to.
I don't get
Just
my.
like his
I have no
mom-
idea what my
his
cholesterol
mother did
is.
the same thing.
You know, it's. I don't see doctors. It's just. But that's my.
Yeah, but you're a
Preference. That's
doctor
your own
yourself, so
yeah.
you know what.
That's
Listen to
his
your body.
personal preference.
Yeah.
I could have sky high. I could
Be
drop
quite
dead
house
tomorrow
stroke,
from
Right.
it. You know.
Yeah, but you know what? We all could.
And we'll
Right.
come to the funeral and say, I told him.
That's- and,
She will.
or you
will.
or you can say, doesn't he look good?
That's, I remember every
Just like my
funeral.
mom.
She
I mean,
looked
when you,
perfect.
everybody, my, you know, everybody thinks of my mother as the way she was. You
When
know,
she
the
was
last time
young.
you guys saw her.
Yep.
You know, when she was in her
She looked,
50s.
well, a lady wrote that in the book. You look so beautiful. She looked so beautiful in her coffin. No kidding. She had a red dress on, I think. But we will come and say plenty, boy.
She
We
will.
told him all along. No, I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's-
I don't know, but it's everyone to themselves.
Yeah.
As
and
long
I
as
don't
it's
think
not
not
effects.
true too, because I
As
worked in
long as it's not
endocrinology
making
for
me
10
sick.
years, and I saw so many patients come in, and I had one lady was in a wheelchair, and she said, "Don't ever let them talk you into taking Lipitor or anything like that." She goes, "I'm like a cripple because of it." She said it causes muscle wasting and
Yeah, well, actually, that was with my father. He actually was in very good health, and for some reason, at some point when he was late 80s, he saw a doc and they put him on Lipitor,
oh,
and I talked to him on the phone, and he was, it hurts
Everything
to get
hurts,
up,
yeah.
and I
But
can't
did you-
move, and I said, well.
stop that damn statin.
Yeah.
And then
Stop
did he
it.
stop it?
Well, I had Lipitor, John, and I.
But he, and he died.
But
Not
yes,
immediately.
but
And he
he-
died,
but
but
he
he was
felt
90,
good.
91 years
He's
old.
still-
Yeah, but if he
Felt
wouldn't
good.
take that statin, he'd still be alive.
No, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I did take Lipitor, John.
But he
and
didn't want to
mother.
be. He didn't want to be alive at that point.
I took Lipitor and did have a problem with it, and
well,
because
that's-
her
Kinda looks like
husband had
Brianne.
taken it and got
A little
stiff
bit.
on his right side, I
Not
said
the
that
eyes
must
or
be it. I
something.
got out of
There's
bed and
something
thought,
about it that
I
kinda
must have
reminds me a
terrible
little bit of Ray Ray.
arthritis. I couldn't believe it. I was trying to think
Funny.
who in the family.
Fun.
Isn't that
I
a
quit
great
it,
shot?
Yes.
but the
just-
one I'm on is so typical 40.
She looks like a starlet.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what my
Just-
girl said about your mom in that one video. My husband said, she
Oh.
looks like a movie star.
you
Your
saw
aunt
that?
looks like a movie star.
Yeah, she always was. She always was very, very pretty from the day. Well,